Those 5 words hung in the air like smoke, heavy, toxic, and impossible to ignore. It was raining outside the old train station. The last train had left an hour ago, and now in the silence of the empty platform only 2 people remained. A young woman with broken eyes and a backpack she hugged like armor, and a man with a toddler asleep on his shoulder. Shivering beneath his worn-out coat, she was sitting on a bench, knees pulled to her chest, hair matted from the rain, mascara trailing like battle scars. He had simply asked if she needed help, and her response came like a slap, fierce and filled with something deeper than anger. Fear. History. He didn't say anything back. He just nodded and sat down a few feet away, gently rocking the baby. Girl in his arms. That moment, quiet, awkward, and tense, was the beginning of everything. Her name was Lila. She hadn't planned on being stranded in the middle of nowhere. The bus she was supposed to take broke down miles back. Her phone had died hours ago. She had no family to call. Not anymore. She had no boyfriend to worry about her, not since the last one left a bruise instead of a goodbye. Lila had been running, not from a place, but from people, from men, from love. She believed all men lied, that all of them used their words as traps, their affection as currency, and their promises as weapons. She'd built a fortress around her heart, and it wasn't pretty, but it was safe. Then came Ben. Ben was a single dad. His wife had died during childbirth 2 years ago. Since then, his life had been diapers, night shifts, formula cans, and guilt. Guilt for not seeing the signs. It's guilt for not being able to save her. Guilt for still being alive. He wasn't rich. He wasn't charming. He wasn't trying to impress anyone. He was just ... tired and kind. That night at the station, he saw Lila like few people ever did. Not as a broken woman, but as someone fighting to stay whole. So he stayed near, not too close. He offered nothing but silence and space. Sometimes silence is the loudest way to say, "I'm not here to hurt you." The toddler stirred, whimpering. Ben whispered, "It's okay, sweet pea." He took off his coat, wrapped it around her. Lila glanced over. Her voice was quieter this time. "Is that your daughter?" He nodded. "Sophie. She's cute," she murmured, looking down quickly. A long pause followed. Then, without meeting his eyes, she added, "You don't see a lot of dads." "Doing it alone?" Ben smiled faintly. "Yeah, not many choose it. I didn't either, but here we are." Lila's eyes softened. Something about the way he said "here we are" felt real, not performative or rehearsed, just honest. Midnight came, and the storm grew louder. The shelter across town wouldn't open until morning. The bench was cold, the wind relentless. Lila tried to hide her shivering, but it was no use. Ben stood up, cradled Sophie closer, and walked over slowly, respectfully, holding out a blanket. She hesitated. "It's for you," he said gently. Not trying anything, she stared at the fabric like it might explode. Then, with a breath so shaky, it trembled in her throat. She reached out and took it. "Thanks," she whispered. "No problem." He sat back down. The night stretched on. Eventually, Sophie began crying, quietly at first, then louder, twisting in Ben's arms. He rocked her, whispering lullabies, but it wasn't working. "She's probably cold," Lila said suddenly. "Her cheeks are red. Babies lose heat fast." Ben looked panicked. "I don't know what else to do. I didn't pack enough for tonight," Lila surprised herself. "Let me hold her. Just for a minute." He looked at her, really looked, and saw not the guarded girl from hours ago, but someone brave enough to offer help even when she was hurting. He handed Sophie over. Lila held her gently, close to her chest. "Hey, little star," she whispered, rocking side to side. Sophie quieted almost instantly, resting her head on Lila's shoulder. "Wow," Ben said, stunned. "You're good with kids?" Lila smiled, small, real. "I helped raise my little sister, ... before things fell apart." As dawn approached, Lila started talking. Not much at first, just small pieces of her story, like leaves in the wind. Her mother left when she was 8. Her father had fists, not hugs. Her boyfriend had promises that turned to poison. I trusted him, she said, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. Ben didn't interrupt, didn't try to fix it. He just listened. When she started crying, he didn't lean in. He just extended his hand, not touching hers, just offering it. She stared at it then, slowly trembling like the moment might shatter. She placed her fingers in his. He didn't squeeze, he just held. And for the rest of the night, that was all he did. Held her hand, no moves, no pressure, just presence. The sun rose. The shelter opened. Ben offered to walk her there, and she accepted. Sophie was asleep again, cheeks rosy in the morning light, at the shelter door. Lila turned to him. "You're not like them," she said softly. "I'm not perfect," he replied. "But I'm not here to take anything, just here, if you need a friend." She hesitated. Then she did something she hadn't done in years. She smiled without pain behind it. "You held my hand all night," she said. "That used to mean nothing. But today, it meant everything." Months passed. They stayed in touch. Slowly, carefully. Coffee here, a park visit there. Lila found a job at a local bookstore. Ben started writing again in the late hours when Sophie slept. Their friendship became a sanctuary. And eventually, love crept in. Not loud and fiery, but soft and steady. Built on truth, built on patience, built on the night he didn't try to fix her, just held her hand. The inspiring message. Sometimes healing doesn't come from grand gestures or perfect people. Sometimes it comes from the ones who stay, who listen, who offer a hand instead of a demand. Lila's story isn't about a man saving a woman. It's about a woman brave enough to try again, and a man kind enough to wait until she was ready. So the next time someone says, "I don't trust men," remember this. Maybe what they need isn't a promise or a plan. Maybe what they need is someone who will just hold their hand all night and never let go.